You have found Authentic Business Adventures, the business program that brings you the struggle stories and triumphant successes of business owners across the land. Downloadable audio episodes can be found in the podcast link found at drawincustomers.com. We are locally underwritten by the Bank of Sun Prairie, and today we're welcoming / preparing to learn from Nestor Gutierrez, owner of Rancho Express Lube. So, Nestor, how are you doing today?
Hey, James, I'm doing great. And thank you for having me today. I'm super excited to share my story. And like at the end of the day, everything's possible. You just gotta follow through and don't step back when times get hard, you know. So
Yeah,
I'm really excited
very
to
true.
share my story.
Very true. So tell me, the Rancho Express Lube, is that, I imagine that's just what it sounds, right? It's a Express Lube place.
That's correct. Yeah. So real quick, so I started working as an employee for this company in May 2015, and
Okay.
I started as a lube technician. And really quick, I got bumped up to manager within 2 months. And what happened was really the owner really noticed I was hustling. You know, I was pretty much doing everything. The management was really poor back then when I first started. It was very poorly ran. Like, just to be honest, you know,
All right.
I got to the point where I didn't want to be here anymore. Told my dad I wanted to quit because I didn't like the way I was being treated. You know, um, I didn't like that. I talked to the owner. Point is, you know, he promoted me to manager. We got a really good relationship. I would work anytime. Like, I was like pretty much like it was my business, but it wasn't, you know. So it got to the point where he gave me a percentage of the sales for the shop. And
Oh,
in 2018, he came up to me. He's like, "Hey, this place is gonna be yours." I was like, I don't think I'm ready. I mean, I was really young at the time. I was like 20, and I had school full time, and I had a lot of things going on. So I didn't see that happening anytime soon. I told him that would be more like in the 40s, you know, later on. And he's like, "No, this is gonna be yours." And then he, like, a couple of times he came up to me. He's like, "Are you sure you don't want to take it over?" I'm like, "I'm not ready. I don't feel ready." So, um, fast forward to 2020, COVID, everything going on. He came up to me. He's like, "Look, if you're not gonna take over, I have a few buyers. Even if I sell it to them, I'm gonna give you a percentage because you've been a great employee and I want to take care of you." I'm like, "No, you know what? We're gonna take care of this. I don't know how I'm gonna get the money, but I'm gonna buy this business." And it was supposed to happen March 2020, but with everything going on, it got backtracked to August 2020. I took over in August 2020, and obviously the road hasn't been pretty, but this year it's really my breakout year. And that happens to be due to a lot of personal development. I've invested over 100K this year in personal development with really good mentors, Grant Cardone, and local people. So that's really the change in my business for the good has been great. Like, I've doubled up what I made every year. I've doubled up everything I made the previous year. So it's like, I mean, I went from employee to CEO like without even planning on it. You know, it happened. You know, and
sure.
it's crazy how things line up.
That is super cool. So tell
And
me,
and mhm.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
And when I first started, this was just an oil change spot. It was just purely oil changes, simple, in and out, express. Now I kind of transformed the business. We do everything from oil changes to preventative maintenance, brakes, tires, suspension work, AC. We work on everything. We're in an area that we get a lot of nice cars. We get Bentleys, Rolls Royces, a lot of nice cars, you know. So we kind of open the door for anyone and any vehicle, you know, any brand. So now we're to the point where a lot of people know us locally, and they feel comfortable bringing in their vehicles because I'm part of the Chamber of Commerce for the city, and I think that's really building a trust within the company. So they really trust us, and that's one of the reasons why the business is doing so good.
Got it. That's super cool. That's
Yeah,
impressive. So
yeah.
when
Thank
you bought the business, did you get real estate as well, or did you just more or less
No,
take
so
over a lease?
so when I bought the business, I just bought the brand. I bought the name of the business, which came with the equipment and everything. You know, I don't own the property. I lease the property, but that's something I do plan to do within the next 3 years to buy the property.
Oh,
Yeah,
very
and
cool.
it's in a good, very good area. I don't know if you've heard about Route 66, but it's on
Oh
Route
yeah.
66. So
Yeah, I
it's
know
a
Route
very, very good
66.
area, a lot of traffic. So I love it. Honestly, I love where I'm at. I love the location. I'm super blessed.
Oh, that's impressive. That's super cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, Route
yeah.
66, my buddies and I went on a road trip from
Uh-huh.
Chicago to I want to say Kingman, Arizona. We were a bridge
Okay,
away from California.
okay.
So, but that
That's
was a long
awesome.
time ago. Yeah, my
Yeah,
buddy's 61 Buick. It was a blast.
damn, that's badass.
Yeah, it was fun. It wasn't so badass going through the desert when my buddy was worried about overheating, so he turned the heat on.
Yeah, yeah.
Not great. Not great. It's a long distance between exits, but no worries. That's super cool.
Yeah,
So
thank
when
you.
you are you still in the same building as when you bought the
Yeah,
place in
yeah.
2020?
I'm still in the same building. So the building, it's a pretty big location. I would say it's about a acre point two. So it's a big lot, and
Okay.
there's a lot of opportunities still like around me. It's just like dirt you can say, but there's a lot of potential for like opening up more little offices to either even a lease or even do something else for my own self, you know. So
Oh
I
wow.
do plan on opening up a wrap shop, a vehicle wrap shop. The vehicle wraps is really growing in California, so that's my next journey. And then right now I'm also hosting an event in a few weeks, November 18th for entrepreneurship. So I want to kind of like pass on what I know, bring in all the mentors that I've had, and share with other people that are ready to learn and really make a change in their life, you know?
Oh, that's super cool. Tell me, how many
Yeah.
bays do you guys have?
So at the current shop we now we have four bays,
Four bays.
four
Okay.
bays. And when I first took it over, it was only two bays, and the
Oh
other two
wow.
bays were blocked. Yeah. So then I talked to the owner of the property, and I told him that I wanted to take over the other building because so what they did was one big building, but they cut it in half, and then they did window tint next door, and then did the auto repair on this side. Well, since that guy moved, I told him I want to take over, so I took down the walls and I made it nice. So now I have four bays.
Oh, that's awesome. So is
Yeah,
it tough?
yeah.
I mean, oil change. I used to work as an oil change guy, and then tires, all that
Hmm.
kind of stuff. Oil change takes up some space. But you start throwing
Yeah.
tires, you're talking inventory, you're talking the tire changer, balancing equipment, alignment equipment, and AC, you have all that
Yep.
equipment. So was
Yep.
it tough to find room for all of that?
Yeah, so that's why one of the reasons why I took I had to take over the other two bays because at first I didn't do tires right away just because of that reason. I was looking for space. And what does help to sort storage is the fact that I have a pit style.
Oh,
So I
nice.
have underground and then above ground. So that really helps us. All the inventory we keep it underground, and the tires obviously we have it on racks up upstairs, and we just roll them in, roll them out, and then we just keep it in display so people can see that we do tires because that's something for the like the first year. Obviously, I wasn't disappointed, but I understood that like you know people don't know me by tires, so it's gonna take
Mhm.
a while to understand that you know. So now I do have people calling for tires. So I mean it's all a process, you know, and I don't have an alignment rack just because, so since it's a pit style, you know, there's a capacity of what you can have on top. I do have a two post lift. So I made it work. Like there we had to bring engineers to make it work. So I can get a mobile alignment rack, but it's not 100% accurate. So I rather do it right. So I am looking for another location next year that it's just gonna be based for auto repair and alignments. And
Okay,
then we do like the express stuff right here. Yeah.
gotcha. Tell me, I
Yeah.
want to run down the tire rabbit hole a little bit
Yeah.
because actually, right now, today, I'm getting tires thrown on a car.
Okay.
And it dawned on me that when I was doing tires, we're talking 2 decades ago, a long time ago, maybe even more than
Yeah.
that, or yesterday, whatever, a long time ago. There were a lot of tires, but
Yeah.
a 20-inch rim wasn't the thing back then. A 24-inch rim wasn't the thing
It
back then,
wasn't. Yeah.
at least not on anything but a tractor.
Yeah.
Now you have a variety of sizes that I guess 14s really aren't a thing like they used to be back
Yeah.
then.
Kind of fell off. Yeah.
But we got, I suppose, anything from 16s up to 22s. I saw a car that was came with 22-inch rims, which I thought that is
Mhm.
insane. How do you stock all those tires to figure out what people are actually going to need and buy on top of the brands, the
Uh-huh.
style? I imagine snow tires don't come into play with you in
So,
California, but
really the way I work is I really like keeping track of everything that comes in. You know, if it comes from the phone calls to the service to the return rate. For the tires, I always have my people know, hey, you know, this Toyota Corolla is very common. The size we always use it. let's keep an extra amount of these and let's have different brands. So we always base it on the brands that people request. We like sorting those out and having them ready. I do have 5 warehouses. They're all nearby. So if you come in right now and I don't have it here, we'll make it happen. We'll go get the tires. If you like the price, we're pretty fast. So that's a very convenient thing. Like just having the warehouse, like literally half a mile away. So that's
Oh
very
wow,
convenient.
super
Yeah,
close. Okay.
super convenient. Before my closest warehouse wasn't until like 30, 40 minutes away. So that was gonna
All
a
right.
little more of a hassle. But now that we have that, it's super convenient. And another thing that we do is we service all of our enterprise vehicles. So we do have to have certain brands and certain sizes just because of them. Like sometimes they run into something and we need to get the tire ASAP so the car can get back on the road. So that's how
All
we
right.
do it. Mhm.
So tell me one thing that I never was able to pick up on when I was doing tires
Mhm.
is what is the margin? Is it pretty healthy? Like somebody
Honestly, it's
except for
not.
oil change, your
Yeah,
margin
yeah.
is what
Honestly,
it
that's
is.
that's that's what I tell my guys all the time. The margins on the tires is not the best, and I don't know.
It's not.
Sometimes I don't understand how like tire businesses make it. Just because, for example, like if a tire is costing me $50, and then you go to Walmart and it's $54, you can't mark it so high because at the end of the day, the customer, oh, I saw it at Walmart for $54. So the margin on a tire is about like 10 to 15%. So it's not even
Oh,
that much. It's almost nothing. And really where you kind of make your money on the tires on the labor, on the
okay.
mounting and the balancing. That's really like where the money really comes from. But like on the margin of the actual profit from the tire you're selling, there's really no no big thing on it.
Interesting. Okay.
It's the margins are way higher on the oil change than the tire, just because on the oil, like I mean oil prices have gone up, but however, the rates that you get for oil are way cheaper than the tires.
All
Even
right.
when you work with people, yeah, so that's how it works.
All right. Yeah, I remember doing oil changes and stuff like this, and they wanted it 30 minutes or less.
Yeah,
I do this laundry list of inspections.
yeah,
Most of the guys would just be like, yep, 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 because you get yelled at if you take longer than 30 minutes.
yeah,
But you also get yelled at if you don't do the inspections. They just
yeah,
race. Because there's some, I suppose you see this, there's some air filters that I don't know what engineer put that in that spot, but they're
absolutely.
not the guy that has to work on that car.
Absolutely. And yeah, we're always like, damn, like especially new cars, like really, like, do we really have to move all that stuff to get to the oil filter? Not nowadays, especially the European cars. Like
Yeah,
we have to remove the air boxes, we have to remove a bunch of stuff just to get to the filter. So I totally understand what you're talking about.
that's funny. So tell me, air conditioning, I imagine in California, that's a year round or almost year round thing. I imagine. So
Absolutely.
that's got to be a lucrative business.
It is, and right now, so the main thing that has made me bring in even more people is the fact that I do a lot of content on Instagram. So I do a lot of videos, educational videos that I talk about. This is the importance of replacing the cabin air filter. You're getting a bad smell and so on. So I do a lot of videos for AC, and I have even a higher return that comes in for ACs because not a lot of shops like the pit style do ACs. So
Oh,
that is like around the area. Like for example, Valvoline doesn't do AC, Jiffy Lube doesn't do AC. So I'm unique in that sense, and I also do a free car wash. So I do get a lot of people coming in for ACs, and in the AC industry, yeah, the margins are much bigger. It's gonna vary depending on what people need. But normally, like for example, let's say you need a AC compressor, and AC compressors are pretty expensive, on the
hmm.
part. So on the margins on the parts, it's not even that big. It's on the labor. Some of these cars take like 5 or 6 hours of labor
Yeah.
to get to it. So that's really where the money comes from.
All right. And when
Yeah,
so the place that I worked at, you were just paid hourly, but I
yeah,
did have some buddies that worked in the industry and they were paid based on what the motor manual would say.
yeah.
So motor manual says 5 hours to replace this AC compressor. You quote the client 5 hours,
Hmm.
and regardless of if it takes you 6 hours or 3 hours, the mechanic would get paid the 5 hours. So if it takes them
Yeah.
3 hours,
They get paid for
they're
five.
making some extra cash because then they can get more products or more
Yeah,
service done. So
yeah,
it's a very interesting game because then if you run into a problem where you're like, I didn't notice this or the rusty bolt, Maybe in
Takes
California it's not a
longer.
thing. In Wisconsin, it certainly is. You're
Um,
running
it,
to this headache.
yeah, it absolutely is though. So as far as I know, I never worked at a dealership, but as far as I know, the people that I know, it's mainly the dealerships that normally pay you like flat rate. There's some shops that are like just like engine or transmission shops that they also offer flat rate, where they get paid by the labor guide. But most of the time, any shop like this, like they're hourly, and if you're in sales, and there's commissions, so
Gotcha.
that's how you
Okay.
keep the team like on the same level. And then for
Right.
me, like what has worked a lot, I I like treating everyone the same, because at the end of the day, like my loop technician is just as important as my assistant manager, my manager, or my mechanic. So we're all always working on team skills. So we have daily meetings. We talk about several things, and also I take them out. I like treating them, because at the end of the day, none of this would be happening right now without them. And I think that's something like some business owners they overlook. They're so focused on making their own money and growing on themselves than actually helping out others. Because I've seen that when you help others, the return is much higher, and they're more likely to be really like helping you grow, really focus on their job. So yeah.
Yeah, right on. So when you bought this place in 2020, how did the
Mhm.
transition go as far as the employees go?
So back then during COVID, we never stopped.
Okay.
Um, we only laid off one guy, and it was just three of us. When I took over the business, two guys came with me, and one of those is still with me. The other one, he left within a few months, and he left because my rules, he didn't really like them. Like he
Mm,
saw the change, so he started like, this is not gonna work out for me. And before, like some things like were like, just because of the old owner, like he like tolerated certain things just because he was a really good mechanic. But with me, I'm like, I don't care how good you are. These are the new rules. Like, showing up on time is huge. Not
mhm.
a couple minutes late. So that person's he's still with me, and then bringing in new people during COVID, it was a little tough just to bring in quality people. So I s- I did make a few mistakes when hiring. I kind of went with people. Oh, I have a bunch of ASCs. I have the experience. Brought them over, and they were nothing what the book said. So I took my time after that. I kept what I have for the moment to make it work, and I really focused on getting good quality people. And also got people that didn't have any experience, because at the end of the day, I'm like, I'd rather spend money on them, train them, and then make them great, and have them stay with me. The loyalty.
Yeah.
So right now we have 7 employees, not including myself and my
Oh
wife. Yeah.
wow.
So yeah, when we started first started, like I said, like we only had two guys. Now we have 7 people, and like we're probably looking into getting 2 more people because we're pretty busy.
That's awesome. Are
Yeah, yeah.
they cool with each other, or is there a battle, or do you have to deal with some
Man,
culture
honestly, like I
issues?
said, I love my team.
All right.
Everyone, like we're like more than just coworkers. We're really family. We're it's a brotherhood.
All right.
And I say that because the main thing that I focus on in the last couple of years is the leadership, leading by example. And I think they respect that, and they look up to me. And
Okay.
I think I'm kind of setting the tone for them. And even when I'm not here, like everything's like on autopilot. They know their duties. There's no fighting. At the end of the day, I give them all commission. It's not just my salesman. I gave my loop technician a commission, and we focus it on a team goal. This is the amount we have to reach, and everyone's being held accountable for that. So no comebacks, none of that stuff. Like we focus on a great job from the beginning. So at the end of the day, everyone's so focused on winning that there's no time to be competing or being better or talking bad to someone else. Like everyone else is always on the same level.
All right. Super
Yeah,
cool. One of the
yeah.
things that I want to chat with you about, just in the industry that you're in, especially in California. California is notorious for having the environmental stuff and all that jazz. And I was thinking when I was a kid and I was working on cars, you had your brake fluid going everywhere. You had
Yeah.
your just everything, all the chemicals in the car. You would try to contain what you could. but in the end, there was a drain. And a lot of time, not that you were just emptying the oil from a car in the drain, but if a few
Yeah.
drops end up on the floor,
Yeah.
the floor gets hosed off at the end of the day, it all ends up in that drain kind of thing.
Hmm.
I always thought that's a chemical mess right there. But I
Yep.
imagine in California, it's got to be way worse. I imagine it's or more
Oh,
difficult, I should say.
there's you just gotta be super careful. Like you're so limited to the things you can do. Like for example, like for me, like I can't even let's say a car comes and I kind of wash the tires or try to clean it up. I can't do that because the water is not going to a drain, you know. And there's a
Oh,
car wash next to me, and the water would like just the way it's leveled, like the water would go to the car wash, you know. So they don't want that, you know. So I can't even do that in the back, you know. If I mop, I can't I can't just throw the water anywhere, you know. Like you have to go to the sink. That's where I have to throw the water out, you know. So there's so many laws that you just gotta be careful. And I know a lot of shops. I'm one just for the fact that I'm part of the chamber. Like my standards are so high. Like I don't want a bad image, especially from me or my business. So I'm always up to regulations, and that's what in the team meetings that we have, we do touch safety, you know, and we go over the fire hazards, oil disposals. They know the rules already. If they see any drops of oil or any fluid, they clean it up right away. We mop it or we put kitty litter, clean it up, make sure because at the end of the day, someone can fall and it
right.
can get worse, you know. So I'm super huge on that, you know, on the boots that they wear and just making sure that everything's being done correctly, you know, because I don't want to be dealing with no OSHA, none of that, none of those headaches, you know. So I like
Yeah,
doing it from the beginning.
gotcha. Nice. So tell me, when you took it over, were you married, have a spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, anything like that?
Yeah. So when I took it over, I had just gotten married. I
Okay,
got
you
married
had
in
just gotten married.
I had just gotten married. I got married in October 2019, and I
Oh,
took it over.
wow.
Yeah, no, a couple months later. Yeah.
All
So
right. And how did
um,
they feel with you buying the business?
Um, you know what? I think I'm super blessed it happened like that because just getting the money, my father-in-law helped me a lot.
Oh, wow.
And it was really nice having his back because, you know, before then, like I kind of you could say I earned his respect because before then, like he was just like more like, fathers, you know, and their
Oh,
only
yeah.
daughters, you know. So he was a little tough on me. He kind of didn't really talk to me, but then he noticed what I was doing and I told him that was my plan. And I didn't even ask for anything, and it came out of him. Say, hey, I can, because he has his own company for construction. So he's, hey, I can lend you some money. Like, I'm fine with that. I'm like, damn, like, really? And I told my wife, and my wife always has supported me in everything that I do. So as long as she says, as long as you know that you are gonna make it, you do have a plan, you're not going into something that you're not sure, I'll support you, you know. So that was really good to have that. And really my father-in-law really helped me make it, you know, because the money.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
super cool. That's impressive.
Yeah, yeah,
So when you
it's
got
and
married, did your wife know that you were looking to buy the business, or were you talking? Oh,
no, I mean we I met her in 2016, so she knew I was working for a while. She knew my position, my manager position, and she also knew the owner because we would always go to his house and vice versa, and she kind of knew like the offers being made by him, but I never even told her like I'm buying it. Like I didn't even know myself, you know.
oh,
It was kind of like one of those things when he told me the final time, like, hey, I do have more buyers. You don't want to take it over? That's kind of like, oh, wake up call, you know, like, do you really want this or you don't want it, you know? And at the beginning, I was so focused on like, man, I'm a winner. Hopefully he does sell it. I'm gonna get a percentage out of it. But then I'm like, what's gonna happen when the new owner comes in and he wants to lay everyone off, you know? So
mhm.
that was the wake up call for me. I didn't know, she didn't know. It was everything just happened so fast. And I think just like till now, like everything always happens so fast, you know? And I'm always like, opportunity comes, I'm like, okay, let's take it, you know? So
Nice.
yeah.
That's super cool. Tell me, that had to be capital intensive. So tell me about the purchase. Did
Mhm.
the previous owner, did they finance it? Did you have to go through a bank? Did you just give them a bag of money and say, here you
E-
go? How did that work?
everything was so simple just due to the friendship that we had, you know. He made it like literally so easy. Like he told me, you have 2 years to pay me off. I want 20% down of the total amount. That's all I'm asking for. And after that, we're gonna make X amount of payments. And as long as you pay before 2 years, no interest. After 2 years, there will be an interest of X amount, you know? So
Okay.
he literally just went like this, you know, like here's a shop, give me the money, you know?
Yeah.
And my goal from the beginning, you know, at the end of the day, since I had money borrowed from my father-in-law, I owed him money and I pretty much owed my previous boss money, you know? So I pretty much had two transactions to be paying monthly. And my goal was, I told my wife, I gotta pay them off within the year. I don't like that. I don't like dealing with that. So we're gonna pay them off before the year. Well, we paid him off in 9 months, both of them. My father-in-law and I paid off
Oh,
my previous.
congratulations. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
thank you, thank you. And I think what really helped make that happen was the fact like all the bills for the shop are due on the 10th or the 12th. So I told myself, you know, I have 10 days to get the ball rolling. I gotta make sure it's like we're kicking butt, you know. So that was my main focus. So the first 10 days were focused on paying the bills. And after that, I said, okay, now we have, you can say a couple of days that we can put those aside and then start putting some money into our reserve account, you know. So that's the way I worked, you know. And back, I mean, when I got the business, I was 23. I turned 24. So the business like mentality wasn't there. I was more of like, I gotta do it myself in order for it to get done right, you know.
Oh, sure.
I felt like I had to be like all over the place, you know, and I'm so glad that I grew out of that because that's the way you know at the end of the day I didn't have a business. I just had bought myself a job, a high paying job you can say, but yeah, that's really how it worked.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate, like I said, I'm very grateful for him because none of this would be possible without him. You know, it's an opportunity that you don't get every day, you know. So
No, no, that sounds impressive. So did
yeah.
your old boss cut you a little bit of a deal compared to the other people that were going to buy?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like
Okay.
absolutely. Like it's like it was like if you were buying a brand new car in 2020, you know, like I'll tell you this, I was less than 100K.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it was less than 100K and just the money that the business is worth right now it's crazy, you know, for how much I got it.
yeah.
It's just amazing how at the end of the day he only did that because he saw that I had a lot of passion for vehicles, and he only got this business because it was an opportunity, but it wasn't really his thing. He did stereos, he did window tint, and at the end of the day, like what he did is all the money that he got from this business, he used it to open up more locations for window tint. So he won, I won, we both won, and he's doing great right now. I'm doing great, and it worked out, you know.
Oh, very cool. So did
Yeah.
he start this thing from scratch or did he buy it from someone else?
No, so this business used to be owned by the same people that own the land and also the property and the car wash next door. What happened is this business was established in 1996. The original owner, he really had something really good right here. I don't know what happened. He had to move out, but he was averaging like over 100 cars a day. There was a gas station in the corner. You know, it's on Foothill on Route 66, so a lot of traffic. I don't know what happened. He left, I believe, in 2009, and new owners came in that bought everything out, and they decided to run the oil change. Well, everything good that was built was literally collapsed by the new owners
Oh no.
because what happened is they were investors. That's what they were. They got random people from the car wash come over here to do the oil changes. People didn't know what they were doing. Cars were leaving. Like you can assume what happened. You know, leaking and just a mess. You know, they literally killed the spot within a year. So when
Oh,
my previous boss came in, he saw the opportunity and he's like, you know what, like it's time to build this thing. And then he came in with a partner, and the partner had a lot of history in the automotive industry, and that's why he brought him in. And at the end of the day, the partner and him, he just didn't like the way he operated. Like he was so focused on sales, 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 even when they weren't needed. So my previous boss is like, I don't want that. You know, I want this to be built the right way, and it needs to be with honesty. So they broke up, and that's kind of like around the same time that I came in. And when I first started, this place was only doing like on a good day, maybe like 8 cars a day.
oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was nothing. It was nothing. You
Eight.
know, eight cars a day. So it was just a manager, assistant manager. They were brothers and me. You know. And then it's slowly like some Saturdays we would do like 15 cars a day, but it was really rare, and, and after after he got rid of them because like I said, part of it had to be the way they were answering the phones, the way they managed everything. They didn't do any inspections, like you said. They would just get the car and just like check, 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 get it out of here. Oil change is done. And I was pretty much doing everything. And they were just in the back. They were just smoking cigarettes and like they were just not working.
Mm.
Um, until the day that my previous boss noticed, like, man, this guy, me, he's really doing everything. And the other guys are just, just standing here bossing him around. So at the end of the day, that's when I noticed. I told them, I'm like, there's so much potential here. Like, you gotta notice. Like, I see it. Like a lot of cars come in sometimes, but like they're rude to them. You're losing customers because of the management. And I mean, I was only at the time I was like 18. Like, it was hard for him to believe me, obviously, because like this kid, what is this kid talking about? So then he tried to invest more time in the business because he was never here, and he started getting more marketing, and we slowly grew it, and then within the next couple of years, we started averaging about 15 to 20 cars a day, and slowly grew that. So now I'm averaging about 55 cars a day, and I have pretty good high tickets too. So it's only getting better and better, and I service a lot of enterprise vehicles. I service a lot of local flower shop and contractors. I have a lot of fleets. So that's also really helped me.
How did you end up getting the fleets?
So there was just one idea. I saw enterprise vehicle. Like I said, enterprise. I'm like, you know what? Like, I told him, I'm like, we should get a contract with them. He's like, oh, I didn't think about that. He's like, oh, go ahead and go to their office and see if we can get that. Well, and they shut me down. They said no, they have someone in house that does it. And then a couple months later, I tried again, got denied. And I started looking. I think I got like two flower shops to come in. And then I got one contractor to come in. It was a very small count. Well, in 2019, a new manager for enterprise came to us. He's like, hey, I see a lot of requests, but they've been ignored. So we definitely need to bring a lot of cars to you. We're looking for a facility that we can trust, and I see that in you. So let's go ahead and get a contract. So it took a couple years for them to actually come in, but we've kept that account, and then we have seven of their stores nearby that they bring us cars, and just from them sometimes we get like 20 cars, a day just from them. Yeah,
Wow.
so it's a really good account, and then we use that to leverage more. So we always mention that we do have this account with Enterprise, and it opens the doors for other people. So uh, now we're to the point like where people that have a lot of vehicles that have fleet vehicle, they call, hey, I want to set up an account with you guys because they see that we're working on fleet vehicles, solar vehicles, and a bunch of vehicles. So now we're to the point where like we're getting known more, and they know that we service a lot of fleets.
That's cool. That's super cool. 20 calls a day from or 20 cars a day. That
Yeah,
is
sometimes like we can be like it can be like a couple cars in the bay, and the next like a whole line of cars. Like they have a bunch of drivers. Like sometimes they bring 7 cars at a time. I'm like, okay, let's get to work. So
wow. That's
yeah,
oil changes, tires, the typical
it
maintenance
can
stuff.
vary. Sometimes it's just oil changes, sometimes it's brakes, sometimes it's tires. It could be everything, and it just depends. So
All right.
whatever they need, we make it work.
Fastest car in the world's a rental car, right?
Yep.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, when I was a mechanic, we used to do we had Pizza Hut cars, little Honda Civics.
Okay.
And holy cow, did those things get beat
Oh
by their
yeah.
drivers. I don't know how those cars kept running.
Only because they're Hondas.
I still remember pulling the drain plug on one and the
Uh-huh.
oil just came out in
No
this
oil.
drip.
Yep.
I thought,
You're
how in the
like,
world is this thing running?
sit here. Yep. I seen that
I,
so many times. I'm amazed too. I seen it on Honda so many times, and it's crazy because it's the older Hondas.
yeah.
You're like, how did it get here? Like, you're just
Right.
like this thing is crazy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I still remember some of those cars. And I was thinking, if somebody paid me to destroy a car, I don't think I could do as bad as these drivers are doing to this
Uh,
car. They're just destroying these cars.
It's
So,
crazy.
anyways, interesting. Tell me about marketing. What was the
Mhm.
previous owner doing? And I mean,
Uh-huh.
because he was busy doing his other stuff. And then when you took it over, you probably had a dream or a vision of like, hey, when I take this over, this is what we're going to do to get the rockets going on this thing. Tell me what you
Yes,
did
sir.
there.
So when he was here, he put all his eggs in one basket pretty much. That was Google Ads
Hmm.
and Yelp. That was like his main marketing. I saw it working, especially Google Ads. I'm like, okay, like I didn't understand how it really worked until I came in. I'm like, okay, so how does this work? So I did my research. I kind of eliminated Yelp because I saw that not a lot of people were coming from Yelp. And something that helps me to this day keep track of what's working. I always ask the customer, how do you hear about us? And I help me keep track of it. Right now, what the main thing that's helping me right now is social media, Instagram, Facebook.
Hmm.
And I say that because, like I said, I post content about everything. Today we have this vehicle, we have a certain brand. Today, this is how you do this, and this is how you do that, and make sure you avoid this. And it's like a lot of people are viewing it and asking for quotes and stuff like that. So social media right now, it's my best marketing that I'm doing. However, Google Ads is second. Still, I do my budget on it. It's about 1,500 a month, and I see a lot of good return coming. On Instagram, I do run ads on Instagram. Like I see the videos that do good, and I make sure that they do better. And especially when I'm doing like a certain special coming up, I put it on there, I blast it, and I have a lot of calls. So that's what I see working, and I kind of implemented it because I have a lot of people that are in the real estate and also doing other businesses, and I see it's working for them. I'm like, okay, how can I make this work for me? And then I just started realizing that it's all about giving them information,
Hmm.
because at the end of the day, people make it so focused on just like information, call to action, information, call to action. But I don't do that. I just give information, give, and then at the end of the day, they're gonna trust me more because I'm giving them free content and I'm telling them this is how you do this, kind of like a YouTube channel, but in like 15 to 20 seconds. Because at the end of the day, people lose interest after a longer time, and then if they don't want to do it themselves, then hey, I saw the video that you posted. Trust you guys. That's literally what they tell me. Trust you guys. I have this problem going on. Can you fix it? If we can, bring it over, or we can't, we recommend them somewhere where it can get fixed, So that's what's working for me at the moment.
All right. And is this you doing that stuff, or do you have a
No, so I
team?
have I
Do you
have, I have
outsource it?
someone I have someone that comes in and does it for me, just like the video stuff. So I have a videographer that comes in, we shoot the content, he edits, he does everything, he sends it to me. I'm the one that posts everything. So I do keep track of that. I post my content, I post my own ads, I take control of that. One thing that's also really helping me with the captions and the hashtags is AI. I use a lot of Chat GPT,
Oh,
and it has made my job way easier. Before, that's something my wife hates about me. Like when I'm posting a video, like I would be like I'd be there for 30 minutes, like trying to get the right caption, right hashtags. So now literally get the video that my guy uploads. I get it. I send it over to Instagram. I go to Chat GPT. Um, Write me an Instagram post about this video, and I kind of put a little bit of information. I copy and paste, and I post it, and it's super fast. A lot of engagement, and it's super easy. So I'm just really taking advantage of the AI right now. So it's really helping me, and that's literally where I see like even like it's crazy how much content I'm doing. Sometimes I go to grocery stores or anywhere and they're like, "Oh, I see you on Instagram. You pop on my Instagram." So anywhere I go around here, like people like, "Man, I always see you guys on Instagram." Like that's like kind of like like the community that's what they're saying right now, because so on Instagram you can target a certain radius, and I've targeted a 30-mile radius. So
okay.
anywhere within the 30-mile radius, like they see it when I do sponsored ads, they see it and they'll tell you, it's gonna reach X amount. So I always aim high, And that's why a lot of people are like, oh, I always see you guys on my Instagram, you know? So I like hearing that because at the end of the day, like the brand is building, you know? So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
huge. That's incredibly huge.
yeah.
So tell me about budget with something like that. Because
Uh-huh.
when I was looking at, I guess I've done Google ads before, and
Hmm.
depending upon what I was selling, sometimes the bid amounts are
Yeah.
psycho,
Yep.
psycho when it
Absolutely.
comes to stuff like that. I had a flower shop for a hot minute,
Uh-huh.
and just competing on keywords of flowers, it was insane. I think it was more than what a bouquet of flowers costs.
I can imagine. And that's a thing that I told myself, like, I would get happy because, oh, okay, we're busy. But then I would see the Google Ads bill. Like there was a time that I spent like 3,500 Google Ads. I'm like, that's a lot of money. I'm like,
Mhm.
I need to make sure that, you know, I'm getting more leads without paying so much. And I started noticing like, you know, people were like posting content. I'm like, at the end of the day, that content is for free. So I started doing the content and I see the option to sponsor. So at the end of the day, it just depends on the content. Let's say your content that you posted, it's good information, and you put $100. Sometimes for me, like when I first started doing that, like I just had one customer from the $100 the information that he heard turn into like $2,000 ticket
All
just
right.
because of the information, you know. So it's at the end of the day, it's the information that you're giving because if you're giving poor information and you're sponsoring thousands of dollars, but the information is poor, then the leads are not going to come in. Maybe a few do, but it's just the information that you're talking about. You want to get it to the point where you no longer have to do sponsored ads because your information is so good. People are sharing it. You have people viewing it, and you don't have to be paying a penny now. And you know, at the end of the day, I'm also right now really focusing on the whole referral. Um, I posted on my social media, you know, referral, get $15 off for so if you come into my business, I give you $15 credit, and then the person that you bring, $15 off, and it's unlimited. And I do really emphasize when I say like, okay, at the end of the day, if you bring X amount of people, your service can be for free, you know? So that's
Oh,
people
that's
here
cool.
free. People here free are like, oh, you know, I do have a lot of people, a lot of friends, a lot of family members. And it's been like that for a couple people, you know? So that's also working for me, the referral program that I have. We talk and tell everyone that comes in so they know about it. And that's really working, you know. But it's not gonna work if you have a horrible product, your service is not good. Like you gotta make sure you gotta focus on the product first, and then you can do this, you know. So
Gotcha. All right. That is impressive. That is very impressive.
thank you.
So have you found Instagram, like there's 50 million social media things, right? There's
Yeah,
top whatever 10.
so
How do
many.
you choose where to go or where to post?
So every platform is gonna be different. You know, the algorithm for TikTok is way different than Instagram. And for me, Instagram is the one that's working the most. I do post on Facebook. I do post on TikTok. TikTok, it does bring in a couple leads. But there's a lot of people that are really into that in my area, but not compared to Instagram. And the Facebook, I also do have people come in, but it's the older crowd. Like on the Instagram is mainly the crowd that are like in their early 20s or early 30s that have like the car club cars, like you know they put a lot of money into their cars. That's kind of like the people that come in from my Instagram, you know. And then a lot of people too do come from Instagram, like the people like early 40s, early 50s that have the nice exotic cars. They're like, oh, well, they do these cars. Let me give them a shot. They like the service. What happens? They refer them because at the end of the day, they have friends with the same cars. And next thing we know, we have a bunch of those cars, you know? So,
All right.
yeah,
Well, that's very cool. Is it
yeah.
tough? I'm just going down the exotic car road.
Uh,
The few times that I'm gonna quote unquote lucky to work on them because some of they're really cool car when the hood's
yeah.
shut. But
That's,
sometimes when you open that hood, you think, whoa,
that's
this
so
is
lucky.
not the best engineer in the world, for my opinion.
Yeah,
So, but a lot of times, just the code readers and the stuff, the equipment that you need is all specialized. It's
mhm.
kind of a pain,
It
but
is.
you get to drive a nice car.
Nice cars. And
Worth it.
I think for us, what happens is like all the people that I have, they love cars as well. So I tell them all the time, okay, if you guys want to be able to get in these cars, you know, uh, The only way to do this is by when we get one, we gotta do a fantastic job because at the end of the day, he's gonna have more friends with the same cars and they get more excited, So they're so focused on doing a great job on every car. And I tell them, okay, what do we need to get cars like that? And then they give me a list. This is what we need. This is the scanner that we need. This is the tools that we need. Okay, I'm gonna get the tools. We're gonna be prepared. That I do. I'm a high believer in the law of attraction. And
Hmm.
it always happens. Like if I want something, okay, what do we need to get that? I get it, and it's automatically like boom, boom, boom. Like I'm like, oh wow, like that's crazy. So that's how it's been. I got the equipment that we needed for like Lamborghinis, Ferraris, all the exotics. I spend a lot of money on scanners and tools, like thousands of dollars. But
Wow.
now when I really took advantage of one that came in, it was a Rolls Royce, and it was a friend of mine. Did a lot of content. I posted it. What happens next? Oh, I have a Bentley, I have a Ferrari, I have a Lambo. Like, can you do them? I'm like, yeah, of course, bring them over. So I have a supplier that can get parts for all those exotic cars, and also the scanner that I have can reset any maintenance light. We can do diagnostic on them, and that's really good. Um, Here's a little something you probably don't know. So Rolls Royce that came in, it was a Cullinan 2015. Um, it came in for clunky noise in the front. I go underneath, I'm like, this car looks like a BMW. So I go downstairs and I'm checking it out. Like I told my mechanic, man, doesn't it look like the BMW that we just did? Like the controllers look the same. He's, oh yeah, but that's he's like, that's pretty much like any European. They look identical. I'm like, you're right. So then we start looking at it. We see the controllers are shot out, and then I see BMW on the controller. I'm like, look, man, like it's BMW part, you know? He said, that's crazy. And then we start looking more, and on the controller on one side it had BMW, and on the other side it had Rolls Royce.
Oh,
So
interesting.
oh, that's interesting. I open up the hood. I'm like, hey man, are you sure this is not a like a BMW V8? Yeah, let's look into it. Sure enough, it's a BMW M6. So we called the dealership for a BMW M6 for the same part, and it was like 800 something. We called Rolls Royce, it was like 1900. It was the same part. You go to BMW, you get the same part cheaper. You go to Rolls Royce, the same part. On one side, it has BMW in small letters, and the other side it has Rolls Royce in big letters. So you're just paying
Wow.
for the name of the brand. So a lot of people, I do a lot of content like that for my social media, and like they share, 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 and that helps them save money for the people that have that because they didn't know that. Same thing with Bentley. Like they use parts from Volkswagens that are way older. Let's say you have a 2015 Bentley Continental. A lot of those parts are from a 2006 Volkswagen.
Oh,
So
funny.
yeah, so there's so many like all these cars like there's a background. It goes back, and we do. I tell my people, hey, whenever you get a nice car like that, don't trust the price that it's telling you that you call the dealership. Let's see really where that part comes from. Because at the end of the day, we're gonna save the customer so much money, and
Yeah,
that's what we want. Yeah,
that is cool. That
yeah,
is interesting. I suppose there's been a control arm somewhere just slapping on the car, right? That's
yeah, yeah,
interesting.
and obviously not everything on the car is gonna be identical, but
Mhm.
most of it, like a car like that, it does have the same suspension on the engine. It had the same oil filter. It took the same oil type. So a lot of the things are similar. But to answer that question too, at the end of the day, like I've sent my people to training, all of them. So I have three guys that they can work on anything that comes in, and I have a younger technicians that are getting there. But when the time is right, then I'll send them to training. But I spend a lot of money when it comes to self development on my salespeople, on my mechanics. I send them to school to train, and it's free. And that's that. Like at the end of the day, I'm like, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. It's not gonna come out of your pocket. You're gonna train. You're gonna become better, and at the end of the day, you're gonna make more money. So
Right.
I really emphasize on that on helping my people.
That's cool. That's impressive.
Yeah, thank
So,
you.
do you have any? Were there any challenges since you purchased the business in 2020? Forgetting about the
Yes.
whole pandemic thing.
So when I first got the business, the main challenge was getting more people. Like
Employees.
obviously more employees and more customers. It was slow. I was making ends meet, but it was tough. I did stress like when the first couple months when I got it, I lost a lot of weight and I was really like I was spending like almost all day in the business. Like I'm like what do I have to do to get more cars in and I even try to bring down the price a lot and I'm like it didn't really work and it was just hard at the beginning, and I was trying to like learn from other people, like, hey, how's your business doing right now? Oh, struggling, we're probably gonna close down. And I got really discouraged when I would hear a lot of, oh, we're closing down, so it was tough. And then I started slowly getting more people a couple months later, and now hiring. It was super tough, No one wanted to work. Everyone was, getting free money, and it was really tough, And as like I said, I made a couple mistakes of hiring the wrong people. Um, and one of those mistakes, it did cost me an engine, and it was for enterprise vehicle.
Oh
And
no.
it was super mad, It was a tough month because I lost money that month, and I was just like, damn, we need to pick the ball up because this can be the start of us failing, So I'm like, okay, I fired him and I'm like, hey, you know that there's a procedure we do things. We double check, we triple check before he leaves and he didn't do it. I got rid of him and like I try to get more people. And like I said, they would lie in the resumes and I would get them. And it almost happened again, that a loose drain plug. I'm like, man, like I can't have this, So then I got to the point where, okay, I'm not gonna hire anymore. I'm gonna take my time. And it took me like 6 months to find one good person, And those 6 months, I had to be everywhere. I had to be in the front, I had to be out there. Like I was everything, And it was very challenging because, a lot of people, what happens, a lot of people see the good stuff. They see the traveling, they see the life you're living, but they don't see the background, They don't see the late nights, not spending enough time with your family, not spending enough time with your wife, So that can also lead to divorce or whatever, because you're not no longer spending time with them.
Hmm.
And that was kind of what was happening to me. I was spending too much time on the business, a lot of headaches, a lot of stress because it was tough. I didn't know where to start. I'm like, okay, do I get more customers? Do I get more employees? Like, and then I finally get more customers and there's no employees. I'm like, damn, like this thing is hard,
Hmm.
And I started getting it together, and guess what happened? Oh, now the parts, oil. I wasn't able to get oil as fast as I was before. Oil prices skyrocket. Parts till this day, there's like for example, there's a Range Rover. I'm still waiting on a part that's back ordered, and it's been a month and a half. So that's
Oh,
still a problem right now, and it's just I feel bad because a lot of people they rely on the cars. They don't have an extra car. Like it's tough, and that was a very tough moment. It was what I think at the beginning of 2022. There was a lot of cars that needed repairs, and we already had the job closed and everything, and no one has a part, not even the dealership. So that's when I'm like I got scared again because there was a lot of repairs that we were letting go in a sense, but it was out of our um it wasn't our fault, So it was tough because there was a time where like a couple months that we just all we were doing was oil changes. We wanted to do more,
oh,
but there was no parts available. So that was another hard time, at the beginning of 2022. I'm like, man, this is very, very tough, So then I started like getting parts from online, uh, uh, like parts stores, online parts stores, and I would kind of like stock the things I would see that were more common. That way, like I wouldn't lose more jobs, And it was very tough on that sense. And a couple months later, on 2022, it got a little better, but like I said, till now there's still certain brands that they're really behind on some parts, especially right now. I don't know how it is over there, but a lot of people over here in California are protesting. So it's happening at Dodge, it's happening at BMW, it's happening at so many places right now, and
hmm.
we have that going on right now. So the automotive industry, it's a hard business. Not only that, because also it's a retail store, customers. So customer satisfaction too, it's another thing. So at the end of the day, you just gotta make sure that the people that you have in the front are are running it the right way. And because if you have bad customer service, it's gonna kill everything you're trying to do, So
Right.
it,
Yeah.
it was tough. Like right now, like I said, this year has been a breakout year, and a lot of it has been because I spent a lot of money on personal development. You know, on how to hire, when to fire. On systems, having a book. Of everything, how it's ran down. So there's so many things that I've learned just this year that I'm twitching, and I see the changes. So it's only getting better and better. But I mean, every day, sometimes we run into something, like, oh, we can't get this part. Like right now, like we have another vehicle that no one else has the part. We have to drive an hour and a half because this dealership has one. So we're still running into problems like that with parts. And you never know too, like at the end of the day, as long as you can do whatever you can control, you make the best out of it, but sometimes people can get discouraged because it's not going their way. And I was once I was once there, and I mean it's tough because it's not going your way and it's not changing. It's day after day, day after day. So it can be tough for sure.
Got it. Yeah, I bet. I bet. I'm right there with you with mine. All answering service, but same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
same hiring situation. I hear it all across the board in every industry.
And something that I forgot to mention, I did struggle, and it did get to me because there was two technicians that I got fresh out of college in the automotive industry. I taught them everything I knew, and I made them really good technicians. And what happens? They focus it on the money. Oh, I'm gonna make more money over here. And they come up to me. One comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, today's my last day." I'm like, "Damn, what do you mean? Like, we just went out to lunch. You're telling me today's your last day? Like, what do you mean?" Yes, because I have this opportunity over here. They're paying me like $10 more. Like, you never told me money was the issue. So yeah, but $10 more an hour. Okay, do whatever you gotta do. And I was really discouraged. And then next thing you know, the other one follows.
Oh,
And I was without two really good technicians. So now I'm like, damn. So there was a time I was really discouraged. I didn't know, okay, do I teach my people everything, or do I kind of not teach them a couple things? And I was kind of stuck. And that's when I hired my first mentor. And I told him that because his name is Albert Preciado. He has a mortgage industry. He has a lot of employees. And I would see what he was doing. I'm like, damn, you have a bunch of people, like over 100 agents. Like, how do you do it? They're really like, like it was a team. Like they would come in there and they're like all pumped. And like, I'm like, damn, I want that. How do you do that? He's like, I teach them everything. I take care of them. And I tell him, okay, well, how do you teach them everything? Are you scared of losing them? He said, no. If they want to leave, that's their fault. Because if we're growing together, it's going good, and they think that they can do it better, by all means. But what has happened before, like for him, like he's like they always come back. They try to do it on their own, and they come back, but the door's closed now. So it's funny that he told me that because those two people that did that to me, they see that we're growing a lot, and just recently, like one reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, are you hiring?" No, I didn't even respond back. I'm like, you left me when I needed you the most.
yeah.
Now that you see that we're doing better, you want to be part of it again? I know. I don't do that.
Get
Because you
lost.
did
Yeah.
it once, you're gonna do it again. And sometimes employees can be really complicated. I'll tell you that. It can get out of hand, and sometimes if you look at it, it causes businesses to fail just because it gets out of hand. For example, you don't give them the lunches the way it's supposed to, and there's so many things that can go the wrong way. So that's always something to be really careful with the employees.
Yeah. Employees are the biggest headache for just about
Absolutely.
every business that a business owner that I've ever talked to.
Yeah.
It's common.
And, and at the end of the day too, I think it creates some like scares in the person running the business, that they want to bring in family members. But I
Mm,
think also that's another thing that I've seen before, that they bring a lot of family members and it starts going south, and bad relationships, and it gets really ugly. And it's like what I've learned is, like, it's not best to bring in family members for that reason, because they get comfortable, and at the end of the day, like, they may not do the job as great as someone else would if you didn't have a close relationship. So
mhm.
they always try. I think they just try to play it safe, but I think it is not the best way to do it.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Totally understand. It's tough. Very tough, but in the end, it's totally worth it because business is
It's
fun,
absolutely
and
worth
you
it.
don't want to be the one doing it all the time, right?
Absolutely. So now I'm in a good place. I got the business on autopilot and it's giving me more time to focus on other things, so it's very good. But I mean, just look at it. I opened it in August 2020. This is my third year and like, now things are running more smooth.
Yeah,
And
that's
it took
impressive.
it that's it, it didn't go, it wasn't in the first year. It wasn't like from month to month, it took a couple of years, but and I'm not saying we're done, we're improving and improving more, but now we're finally getting to a point where like, okay, like finally, like now we can kind of take a few days off on vacation if we need to or we have to. But now we're to that point, But that's something like I said, people don't understand. Sometimes people get into business to make more money and travel, but it's not like that. It's actually the
Not a light
opposite.
switch. No, you got to put in the work.
Absolutely, it's the opposite. You work more than the 8 hours. You work way, way, way more. And I think they just get confused. They're in it for the money, and I mean, I know you gotta make money to pay the bills, but I think when you focus on really helping people and really helping others, I think the money comes on its own.
Yeah,
And I think that's the way I see it. Like I never saw it. Oh, I want a business to make more money. I just saw that I know a lot of stuff that I can help others, and at the end of the day, if you do a great job on anything you do, more referrals come in, more money comes in, and it goes better because if you're making it so transactional, people are gonna know. People are gonna know you're trying to sell them something. People are gonna know like they can't trust you. Like all you want is their money, and at the end of the day, it's gonna come to the point where like you're gonna die. You're not gonna have any customers, and it's just gonna be ugly because you were so focused on the money, So that's just like the difference between me and I mean, we're in the industry that what happens is that everyone, especially women, they don't trust you. Oh,
mm,
you're crooks. Everyone has a bad image of mechanics. Why? Because the things I'm talking about always happen. You go to any shop and they try to rip you off on things that you don't need. So I get that and I understand when they're like, no, it's okay. My husband will take care of this. And like, okay, that's what we try when we do anything, any inspection, we show them, okay, this is how it's supposed to look. This is how it looks. We make the comparison. That way they understand. One, we're not ripping you off. We're explaining to you how this works, And at the end of the day, like I said, it's information. It's information that they need to see because we have a conversation. You don't understand the terms I'm talking about. So people don't take the extra step to do that, And I always like to make sure that the customer has all the information needed to make a decision.
yeah, that's totally true.
Yeah.
Totally true. We're in the same boat, I guess, as far as that goes with trying to convince customers to trust us.
Yep.
Because the industry, I guess, can be a little shady. Mechanic industry, especially, right? People don't know
Oh
what
yeah.
they're buying.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
want their car to get from A to B and not make any noise doing it
Exactly.
and not be left on the side of the road. But
Yep.
as far as knowing what's under the hood, it's kind of scary how a lot of people have less than zero interest in learning what's
Oh
going
yeah.
on there.
Oh yeah.
So interesting. But Nestor, I appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you, man, and really appreciate the opportunity to be on your show, and I loved it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Tell me, how can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram at Nestor Gutierrez, or my business Instagram is also Rancho Express Lube.
Gotcha.
They can find me on there, and yeah, that's the best way to get a hold of me.
All right. Awesome. I appreciate it, Nestor. This has been Authentic Business Adventures, the business program that brings you the struggle stories and triumphant successes of business owners across the land. We are locally underwritten by the Bank of Sun Prairie. If you're listening or watching this on the web, if you could do us a huge favor, give it a big old thumbs up, subscribe, and best of all, and most of all, share it with your entrepreneurial friends, especially those that may be interested in the automotive industry. My name is James Kidman, and Authentic Business Adventures is brought to you by Calls on Call, offering call answering and reception services for service businesses across the country on the web at callsoncall.com. And of course, the Bold Business Book, a book for the entrepreneur in all of us, available wherever fine books are sold. We'd like to thank you, our wonderful listeners, as well as our guest, Nestor Gutierrez, owner of Rancho Express Lube. Nestor, can you tell us one more time, where can people find you? What city you're in? Just something like that?
Yeah, so I am in Rancho Cucamonga, California, and you can find me on Instagram at the Nestor Gutierrez or Rancho Express Lube.
Excellent. I love it. Past episodes can be found morning, noon, and night. The podcast link found at drawincustomers.com. Thank you for listening. We will see you next week. I want you to stay awesome. And if you do nothing else, enjoy your business.